If it wasn't for Alfa Romeo, we probably wouldn't have Grand Prix. If it wasn't for Alfa
No.
Romeo, we wouldn't have Ferrari. I nearly cried when I drove the Quadrifoglio, the Giulia Quadrifoglio. It was just such an experience. The news this week from my favourite manufacturer of all time, Alfa Romeo. They announced a hot version of their Alfa Romeo Giulia. They called it the GTA, and there was a GTA M version as well. They were going to make them in limited numbers, but it was announced this week that they've sold all 500. There's our favourite Kimi Räikkönen taking the GTA out for a go. They've sold all 500 of these. So starting price of these was €176,000, £153,000 for the standard car, and then add a little bit more, so £157,000 for the stripped out GTA M version, which basically just didn't have seats or anything. It's crazy. It was the most expensive car that Alfa Romeo have ever done, outstripping even the limited run 8C Competizione supercar, which is also just an incredible car. It's on my dream car list. And that was £112,000 if you're interested. But that's it. No more Alfa Romeo Giulia GTAs and GTA Ms. Completely sold out. So great news. People have run out and bought Alfa Romeos, which is an Alfisti. It's exactly what I want to see. I want people buying Alfas. It's good for us. They're going to keep building Alfas, which means I can keep going out and buy Alfas. But sad news, they're all sold out, so you can't have one, which is a shame. Bittersweet.
But what a stunning car.
Oh, man, isn't it?
They are absolutely beautiful. The nose looks great. Little bits of improvements on its predecessor. I'm going to absolutely butcher the pronunciation of this. The
Quadrifoglio. I'll say it. I can't have you doing it. The Quadrifoglio. Quadrifoglio. Cloverleaf means cloverleaf.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Because Alfa Romeo, back when they were racing properly, they painted it onto their race car for good luck. And there it has remained. Quadrifoglio.
That makes a lot of sense.
Sorry, carry on.
No, for all intents and purposes, this is a collector's car. I do get it. They've made some real kind of competition specials about it. There's no overladen electronics on it. It is 40 kilograms lighter than standard model, less full of gadgets. But this is really for the real enthusiasts, and it's just beautiful. Isn't it? It's just stunning.
Yeah, I owned a Giulia, not this one. I owned a Giulia, and we now have the bigger sister. We now have the Stelvio, because you grow up a little bit and you need something a little bit bigger. I think the Giulia, when they stop production of this car, I think the Giulia will be looked back on as one of the best cars of all time.
Really? That is a bold claim.
I absolutely believe it, and I think more people will rue the day that they didn't buy a Giulia when they could do, in any spec. I mean, the Giulia Quadrifoglio, when I drove that, bearing in mind I'm a sado, right? I'm a sad Alfa man. I love Alfa Romeos. I've had too many Alfa Romeos in my time. I nearly cried when I drove the Quadrifoglio, the Giulia Quadrifoglio. It was just such an experience. Also, I was so scared. It was like the most insane thing. I loved my Giulia. I had it for 2 years. The fact that they've sold out of these, they're 150,000 quid and they're sold out, I think is such good news for the brand. I'm really jealous of those 500 people. I couldn't live with it every day. Like you say, it really is for the connoisseur. What are you going to do with this thing? You ain't doing nothing with it. But I just am so happy that they've managed to do it. But tell us in the comments. I'm going to have to stop because otherwise I'm going to get real emotional about it. I'm just a massive Alfa fan. We have, as car people, we have a huge amount of thanks that we should be giving Alfa Romeo for so many different things. If it wasn't for Alfa Romeo, we probably wouldn't have Grand Prix. If it wasn't for Alfa Romeo, we wouldn't have Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari started his racing career in an Alfa Romeo, and that's why Ferraris are red, because Alfas are red. If it wasn't for Alfa Romeo, we wouldn't have nearly every car from the Bond films that baddies drive around. If it wasn't for Alfa Romeo, you wouldn't have cars chasing the minis around in the Italian Job. And if it wasn't for Alfa Romeos, you wouldn't have people like me looking like tits on the side of the road when they've exploded, but still pretending you're all right with it, even though you're really not. So, Alfa Romeo,
we salute you.
We do salute you. Everybody should doff thy caps to Alfa Romeos as they trundle on by, and you don't see nearly enough of them. But then I don't know if I'd like them so much if everyone had one, but, story for a different day.
Now, you're going to virtually slap me for this final question. Are they all left-hand drive? It's a limited run of 500. Are they all lefties?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Okay. I often wonder about things like that.
Yeah.
Being limited. Not important.
I think they are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they are. Wouldn't surprise me. But tell us in the comments, what do you think of the Giulia Quadrifoglio? What do you think of the Giulia GTA and GTA M, which is what we've just been discussing? That the fact that they are sold out, but good gosh, what a motor vehicle.